Genuine ostrich.
Romaleos 3.
Oh! I'm just goofing. New boot goofing. Oh!
Hey guys, it's Pope. Today I am doing a review of the new Romaleos 3 model that I've recently started wearing. I've been into these guys for about a month now, so I feel comfortable doing a educated review. I know I was getting a lot of questions like the first day I was wearing them and I couldn't really give them a good review right off the bat. I wanted to really break them in and see how I liked lifting in them first. This was a great request, so if you have any other video ideas for me like this, just leave me comments below here, Instagram, Twitter. If you're not following me on those accounts, do that now. I have been lifting competitively for about 3.5 years now, and the entire time I've been competing, I wore the Romaleos 2 model. These were my old faithfuls. I never had any other pair of weightlifting shoes. I am not the kind of lifter that likes to change their equipment all the time and try to keep up with new models and colors.
Wait, what?
I like things the way they are, and I'm not big on change. So these guys have been my shoe for the last 3 years of training and competing every day, sometimes twice a day. Tons of reps behind them. So the reason behind the switch, I was starting to notice a lot of wear on the sole, and they had gotten really stretched out and don't fit like they used to when I first started wearing them and lifting them. Something I was noticing was that the shoe was not quite moving exactly with my body because there was some play and room for my foot to move around, and you want your lifting shoe to move exactly with your foot movement so that you can not lose any efficiency through your equipment. I figured it was a good time to make the switch since after Worlds, as soon as I tried to come back, I had the back injury and I was kind of down for the count for a few weeks, and I knew I was going to have to start over my lifting with lighter weights and lighter loads and be really honing in on technique, so it was a good time to make the switch, if any. There was a time after about a year of lifting in these guys that I did try wearing the Adidas model of lifting shoe. Even though the specs are the same, it did not feel like it was at the same angle, and I need as much ankle range of motion help as I can get. If you don't know, I had 5 ankle surgeries resulting from my gymnastics career. My ankle range of motion is not the best. That is probably my weakest link in my mobility, and probably my lifting in general is not being able to push my knees as forward over my toes as what would be ideal. So having the weightlifting shoe definitely aids that, and I need one that's going to give me the biggest help I can get in that area. So that's what's most important to me as a weightlifter. So right off the bat, the biggest difference that I notice, and that you will notice if you unbox the 3s versus the 2s, is the weight. These feel like old clunkers now after wearing these. These are much lighter. Not sure the exact grams. I'll overlay that on the editing. But you can just tell by holding them that the new style is much lighter. I do feel that that weight makes a difference in the lifts, being able to pick your foot up and get it back down a bit quicker. That's also something I've been working on with my technique, so maybe it's kind of in my head that it has something to do with the shoe, because that was a focus on my comeback, was working on my return feet being faster. But I think the weight of the shoe would affect that, so I think that's definitely a plus with this new model being lighter. Another thing you'll notice is the soles being different. This one has this hole in it and this one doesn't. This one is flat the entire way, and I feel a bit more connected to the ground in these newer models versus having this almost like high heel feeling with the hole in the middle. A big difference is going from 2 Velcro straps just to 1, but I think this Velcro strap fastens a lot better, so I actually feel that you get more out of this one strap and it stays put a bit better. I was kind of constantly re-velcroing these while I was lifting heavy as they would loosen up a bit. As I mentioned, I've been using these Romaleo 2s my entire career, so I don't necessarily remember breaking them in, like the process. And these might have been super stiff at first, but I honestly don't think that they were. I think these were very easy to just put them on and get lifting and feel good in them, with them being a bit softer. Again, that could be my memory, like I just loved these so much and I was trying to stay attached to them and say that they were better, but the process of breaking these 3s in was not very pleasant at first. To be honest, the first day I put them on and lifted in them, I cried. I thought I would never be able to switch my shoes because every time I've tried a different pair, I hated them. And the same was the case with these Romaleo 3s. I absolutely hated them on my first workout. And I was actually very upset seeing all of the comments, people asking how I felt about them, because I thought I was going to end up returning them. That being said, you gotta give these time. They start out very stiff, but I'd say within a week I felt very comfortable in them, and they definitely did stretch out a bit. I felt like the toe box was really ramming into my toe. That's where I felt like super uncomfortable and like it was too stiff. But now you can see it has some give. It wouldn't bend at all at first. And when I was doing my jerks, it was like my foot was ramming into the front of it. But again, that went away really quick. So don't give up on these if you hate them right at first, because they will break in. And they actually broke in very quickly, like considering having to break in other pairs of like running shoes before that kind of take like a lot of miles to feel broken in. I would say 3 or 4 workouts in, I felt comfortable in these. I was actually talking to Colin about how he feels about these, because he trades out the colors a lot, because he gets them first. He gets to test them out and gets the newest colorways first. And he said the same thing, like red at first they feel stiff, but they're very easy to break in, so they're easy to like replace if you were to get them stolen or you lost them or anything like that. They're really easy to just throw on another pair, and in a few workouts you feel good in them. So that was kind of a negative thing that ended up being a positive thing. As you can see, I really like wild colors in my weightlifting shoes. Jokes. So I really like that they have this black and white design. I know the men's style is a little bit different, but they do have a black and white colorway. They also have a bunch of different combinations now, so there's a bit more flexibility in the style you can do versus the twos originally only came in like black, then they did a pink color and maybe navy blue and red. These have a bunch of different ones and even some crazy bright ones. As far as cost goes, you can get the twos now for about $100. I even think they're selling these in some Dick's Sporting Goods. And for the newer ones, the threes are going to be $150 to $200, kind of depending on the style that you get. So if you're doing it on a budget and you're newer to weightlifting, these are just fine to save some dollars. If you are thinking about upgrading to the threes, they're going to cost you about $50 more right now. But I think it's a worthwhile investment if you're going to wear them for a long time. I think that if you are a more advanced lifter, the cost of the weightlifting shoe is worth it. And in the long run, you're going to use them so much that it's definitely a good investment to get a pair of weightlifting shoes. So my advice, if you're more beginner, or if you're just getting into Olympic lifting, you're still learning the technique, you're still lifting more novice weight ranges for your weight class, like all of those things, you don't need weightlifting shoes yet. Wait until you know that you love the sport before you make this investment. I feel like the advanced lifters are constantly getting asked about their equipment, and I know everyone loves to like keep up with the latest styles and fashions and whatnot.
Genuine ostrich.
If you're new to weightlifting, you don't need all this stuff. All you need is a barbell and plates and someone to help you learn. But if you know you love the sport, you know you're going to do it for a long time, it's worth the investment to get the nice shoes. Weightlifting shoes do make a huge difference in the lifts themselves, mainly based on that thing that I talked about in the beginning, the heel height, and also this super hard sole keeping you connected to the ground. I have recently put on the newer Adidas styles, the one with the crank twist, and I honestly didn't like those either. Those didn't make the cut, but I'm happy that I purchased these and I'm going to be wearing them for quite a while. Something a bit different for me personally, because I have had all of those ankle issues, I also have some trouble with my arches, and under the competition sole in the shoe, I actually have another sole. I wear these Super Feet, which are arch supports. They've got plastic arch support. And these are the dress shoe kind, so they're only a half sole, not the full length of a sole. And I put this in the shoe under the competition sole. So that was one of my concerns, was if both soles would fit in these new Romaleos 3, which obviously this is not going to be. A lot of people are doubling up the sole, but I do. And it does work. I think that's part of the reason why it was a little hard for me to break in, because there was a lot of stuff to fit in the shoe, but it did. So that was a plus for me. I think the leather itself is a bit firmer, and it's just constructed a bit tighter for the shoe itself, and that makes my foot not feel as like clunky and wide. These are definitely a little bit more narrow. All in all, I like them and I'm gonna keep them. These are gonna become sentimental value to me now and probably not get worn again. I loved these. These snatched the 91 for me. I feel like I need to like hang them on the wall, maybe in my new gym when I get my full garage gym build. So yeah, hope that was helpful. Now I'm going to move into my workout. Today I have a 3 rep max on front squat. I've got some power snatch reps and some bodybuilding. Was helpful. If it was, give it a thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed to my channel. YouTube has been funny about notifying my subscribers of new videos, so make sure your notifications are turned on so you don't miss my next video. See you soon. Bye.